Archangel Michael says, "This will be the most wonderful day of your life. But you are making a very big mistake. Please don't do that or open this immediately. Before the sun sets today, the heavens have issued a soundless trumpet blast, not for the masses, but for you. This hour hath been marked in heaven. The air around you has shifted. The veil has thinned. And I, Michael the Archangel, defender of the anointed, speak now by divine instruction. I speak not from tradition or emotion, but from urgency wrapped in grace. There is a heavenly schedule with your name carved into its center, and today was ordained to be the most wonderful, miraculous, and breakthrough-laced day of your life. But as the hour draws near, so does danger. You were not supposed to hear this unless you were already feeling the disturbance in your soul, that inner conflict, and tightening in your chest, that subtle sense that something is off, though you can't yet name it. That is heaven pressing against you, trying to interrupt your next step, not to delay you, but to deliver you from a fatal misstep. For even now, as I speak, a very big mistake is unfolding in your mind. A decision, a direction, a conversation, a return, a retreat. One that will pull you from the path of divine acceleration into a realm of unnecessary delay and spiritual injury. This is not for the ones who scroll blindly. This message is not for the masses who hear but do not listen. This was planted directly in your path because the Spirit of the living God sees what you cannot. A divine alarm had been sounded. A spiritual wire has been tripped. And I have been sent to intercept what the enemy has whispered in your ear. You are one moment away from shifting into breakthrough or spiraling into bondage, all depending on what you choose next. So still your soul. Mute every other voice. Still your emotions. Silence your flesh. Shut the door. Take a breath. Heaven needs your ears, not your logic, not your fear, not your performance. Just your listening. Because in the shadows, a reversal is waiting. Either a reversal of glory or a reversal of grace. You were not meant to fall here. You were meant to rise. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. I, Michael, the defender of the chosen, captain of heaven's hosts, sword-bearer of divine order, and watchman over the elect of the Most High. I do not arrive with soft words or empty comfort. I arrive on command, and today, before midnight strikes, within the next 24 hours, your entire spiritual landscape is being restructured. Time has collapsed around you. Timelines have folded inward. What was delayed is pressing forward. What was promised is reaching toward you. But so is a mistake, quiet, familiar, almost beautiful, and it waits for your agreement. Heaven is interrupting your routine, your rhythm, your usual motion, not because you have failed, but because you are far too close to greatness to miss it now. This moment is not ordinary. This hour is sacred. You're standing on the edge of an unseen battlefield, and the Spirit of God has stirred the heavens with urgency. That you would not walk into what looks like an open door but is actually a decorated trap. Hear me. This message is not for everyone. This is not general guidance. It is not encouragement for the collective. It is not random. This is targeted, strategic, surgical. This found you because you are marked. Your name was spoken in a heavenly council. Your movements are being watched. You are not ignored, not forgotten, not unseen. You are selected. And so, I have been released to speak now, because within hours, a choice will appear that seems innocent, logical, even merciful, but it is not. It is erupted. It is twisted just enough to look like God, but it leads to delay, despair, and detour. This is why you felt torn. This is why your peace has been fractured. Why you feel pulled in two directions, the flesh pulling left, the spirit whispering right. Something deep within you is aware. This isn't just another day. And you're right. It isn't. The weight on your chest, the sudden emotional fog, the strange restlessness, they are not coincidences. They are signals. Your spirit is responding to a disruption in the timeline. Heaven is trying to get your attention because the enemy has noticed your growth and is now rushing in with a counterfeit. I stand with my sword drawn, not to punish you, but to protect it. I have fought wars for you that you've never seen. I have defended your name in rooms you didn't know you were mentioned in. I have stood between you and the weapons that were aimed at your mind, your calling, your family. But this next battle is not mine alone. It requires your obedience. Do not ignore this message. Do not explain it away. Do not numb it with distractions. Before midnight, a shift will occur. Your decision will decide whether it's a rise or a fall. Not because you're being punished, but because you are being promoted, and every promotion attracts spiritual interference. This is not about fear. This is about faith. I have come with clarity, and you must meet it with courage. Your obedience activates your defense. Your stillness sharpens my sword. Your yes to heaven cancels the assignment against you. There is still time, but not much. The countdown is already echoing in eternity, and heaven is waiting for your next move. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. There are forces moving even now that you cannot see. They are hidden, cloaked, and subtle, yet they are pressing against the edges of your life, hoping you will not notice their presence. This is why you have felt such an unexplainable pull in your spirit today, a deep unease that you cannot name. This is not coincidence, not imagination. You have been feeling the tremors of a conflict beyond your natural sight. I, Michael, have been sent to reveal it, not to alarm you but to arm you. For there are voices whispering to you, unseen influences circling you, secret watchers studying your next move. They know parts of your story, fragments of your pain, pieces of your desire, but they do not know what heaven knows. And it is what heaven knows about you that terrifies them. Why do you think your thoughts have felt heavier than usual? Why have familiar things suddenly felt strange? Why have you been questioning yourself, your calling, your relationships, your choices? Because there is a convergence. The enemy is trying to push you toward a decision you are not supposed to make. He wants you restless, reactive, and reckless. He wants you to interpret this tension as a sign of failure instead of a sign of protection. But the very fact that you are here, reading this, receiving this, is proof that heaven is intervening to keep you from stepping into a disguised snare. The unseen manipulators, the whispering forces, are operating with limited knowledge. They know your past, but they cannot read your future. They know your wounds, but they do not know your healing. They know your habits, but they cannot comprehend the weight of your anointing. They are betting that you will choose quickly, emotionally, without counsel. But this message arrives like a flash of lightning, illuminating the path ahead for just long enough that you can see where not to step, And now you must question. You must slow down and ask yourself, why am I feeling so much pressure right now? Who benefits from my confusion? What is pushing me and what is pulling me? What feels urgent but is not necessary? What feels right but does not carry peace? These questions are not doubts. They are shields. They are a way for heaven to protect your mind until your spirit catches up. Understand this. You are being drawn into two narratives, one written by darkness and one written by light. The first promises immediate relief but ends in hidden chains. The second feels slower, quieter, and demands trust, but ends in freedom and elevation. Right now, both are reaching for you. This is why your sleep had been unsettled. This is why your heart beats faster when you think of certain decisions. This is not random. This is warfare at the level of influence. I, Michael, stand watch as these forces encircle you. My sword is ready, but you must stay still long enough for heaven's intervention to pierce through the noise. Silence the manipulative voices. Withdraw from the crowd. Let the whisper of God drown out the false urgency. The very moment you pause, their grip begins to slip. The very moment you question, their power weakens. They are betting on your reaction. Heaven is asking for your patience. Do not be deceived. The choice before you is bigger than it looks. It is not just about today. It is about destiny. It is about the unfolding of promises written about you before time began. And this disruption you feel, it is heaven's alarm clock ringing in your spirit, calling you to wake up before you walk into a trap dressed as an opportunity. Type "I am protected" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1717 is now activated. Just as heaven moves to protect you, this channel exists to deliver messages that intercept the enemy's plans and awaken the chosen. Every seed you plant here becomes a river of light reaching souls who are desperate for truth, but trapped in darkness. When you support this mission, you're not funding a platform. You're fueling a rescue. As it is written, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy, and your giving becomes that prophetic sowing. I invite you now, as one called and marked, to take part in this holy assignment. Activate your faith by becoming a channel member, sending a super thanks, or sowing through the PayPal link in the video description. Heaven is moving, and your action unlocks a harvest of lives transformed. Do not delay. Respond as the Spirit leads. You must understand this. Beloved, the conflict you are experiencing right now is not simply emotional. It is not circumstantial. It is not because of weakness or failure or confusion. No, it is a spiritual test. It is a divine examination disguised as a decision, and everything that's trying to distract you is doing so for one reason: to sabotage the most wonderful day of your life before it even arrives. The enemy has studied your patterns. He has watched your steps. He knows when your breakthrough is near, and when it is, he doesn't come with a storm. He comes with a shorthand. I, Michael, am not here to speak poetry. I am here to reveal truth, the kind of truth that shakes the soul awake. What you are walking through now is not the evidence of abandonment. It is the evidence of being chosen. You are not under attack because you are failing. You are under attack because you are on the brink of fulfillment. This conflict is not punishment, it is proof. Proof that you are carrying something that threatens the darkness. Proof that you are walking into something that will shift atmospheres. And so, everything is being stirred against you, not to destroy you, but to test what you will trust. There is a decision ahead of you that looks safe. It feels logical. It is coated in emotional reasoning. It's wrapped in words like "I just want peace," or "maybe I'm expecting too much," or "I need to protect myself." But beneath those thoughts, something darker lurks, something that wants to trick you into laying down your sword, abandoning your authority, and settling for survival instead of standing in your God-given territory. And this is the war behind the war. Not the circumstance itself, but how you interpret it. Not what's happening around you, but how you respond to it spiritually. This moment you're in is a divine filter. What you choose next will either align you with heaven's calendar or delay what God was ready to do today. The battlefield is not in your hands. It is in your agreement. It is in your discernment. If the enemy can cause you to agree with fear, agree with loneliness, agree with pressure, then he wins without even lifting a sword. But if you pause, if you breathe, if you listen to heaven's whisper, then your silence becomes your weapon. Your stillness becomes your resistance. Your patience becomes your victory. Do not be fooled by the way things appear. You may think this is about a person, a place, a plan, but deeper than all of that, this is about whether you will choose heaven's strategy over human urgency. And heaven is watching, not in judgment but in readiness. The angels are poised. The Spirit is stirring. The throne is attentive. God is not passive in this moment. He is present, speaking, and fully engaged. But he will not override your will. He will not force your choice. This is where the maturity of obedience becomes the key to unlocking the next level of your destiny. And I, Michael, stand between what is tempting you and what is assigned to you. I have come to call you back to clarity, back to wisdom, back to your prophetic posture. You are not fragile. You are not unworthy. You are not too late. But you are in a moment of testing. And testing is the doorway to transformation. If you listen, if you obey, if you don't move too fast, do not trade the wonder of today for the comfort of what is familiar. Do not hand over this divine day for a temporary fix, because what is coming, if you obey, is beyond what your eyes have seen or your heart has dared to hope. You are in the conflict because you are called. You are under pressure because you are being positioned. And if you hold your ground, the very forces that tried to break you will witness your rise. Type "I choose heaven's WAY" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2020 has now been released over you. Hear me now, for I speak with urgency, not suggestion. There's movement happening around you at this very hour. Movements you cannot yet see but can feel in your spirit. Someone, somewhere, is shifting. A conversation is being held about you. A decision is being made. A plan is being drawn, not to bless you but to bait you, not to honor you but to entangle you. Within 72 hours, everything will hinge on how you act and what you say. Heaven is sounding an alarm because the trap has been disguised, the net has been camouflaged, and the bait has been made to look like a blessing. I, Michael, have been dispatched to warn you. Do not step into what feels urgent without first submitting it to divine discernment. This is not fear. This is forewarning. It is the mercy of God intercepting a move that would cost you years. It is the kindness of heaven exposing a plot before it becomes a prison. Even now, the enemy watches you, whispering, "Move quickly. Decide now. Do it before you think." But heaven whispers, "Wait. Watch it. Hold. Listen." The spiritual pressure you feel is not random. It is not an emotional spiral. It is a war of timing, a battle of patience. The enemy thrives when you rush, heaven prevails when you rest. I tell you plainly, beloved, within the next 72 hours, the spiritual atmosphere around you will intensify. Opportunities will arise. Invitations will come. Conversations will present themselves. Some will look like favor, but they will be false. Some will look like reconciliation, but they will be ruin. Some will look like mercy, but they will be manipulation. This is the hour to test every voice, every offer, every open door. Do not let your hunger for relief blind you to the reality of deception. Not every open door is from God. Not every kind word is truth. Not every hand extended is safe. Understand this. Your obedience is your shield. Your stillness is your sword. If you act without clarity, you open a door for chaos. But if you pause, even when it feels painful, you create room for heaven to intervene. I stand with my sword drawn, but my sword is activated by your choice. Heaven will not override your will, but it will empower your wisdom if you wait. You are being positioned for something greater than you imagine, and the enemy knows it. That is why he is pressing so hard. He wants you exhausted, pressured, reactive, because a pressured spirit is easier to deceive. Yet there is a promise here. If you heed this warning, if you pause when everything screams move, you will see a reversal of the enemy's plan. The trap set for you will ensnare the one who built it. The words spoken against you will boomerang back to the lips that formed them. The schemes prepared in darkness will collapse under the weight of divine exposure. You will watch it happen, not from the inside as a victim, but from the outside as a victor. This moment is not just about avoiding danger. It is about preserving your destiny. It is about holding steady long enough for heaven to open the true door, the door that cannot be shut by man or demon. I, Michael, speak with the authority given to me. Delay your action. Restrain your impulse. Cover yourself in prayer. Stand still, and you will see the salvation of the Lord. Within 72 hours, heaven will prove to you why you were warned. Type "I will wait on heaven" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 3030 is now covering you. Now, beloved, in the stillness of this moment, listen closely. I speak again not with suggestions, but with the protective force of heaven's command. Be still. This is your order. Be silent. This is your shield. The greatest warfare in this hour is not found in your reaction, your defense, or your explanation. It is found in your refusal to engage the noise. The enemy thrives on your movement. He wants your voice, your reaction, your hands in places where heaven is commanding withdrawal. But today, the order has changed. This battle belongs not to you, but to the Lord. Your silence will suffocate the strategy of your enemy. Your stillness will confuse the camp of those who conspired against you. There is power in withholding your response. There is victory in refusing to step where emotion urges you to go. The temptation to explain yourself, to act quickly, to respond harshly, all of it is part of the trap. It is bait covered in urgency. It is pressure masquerading as responsibility. But heaven is whispering to you now. Delay is not denial. It is divine defense. You must not speak until heaven gives the word. You must not move until the Spirit gives the release. I, Michael, have seen what is being built around you. I have observed the invisible conversations, the watching spirits, the silent critics who wait to twist your words. They want your sound so they can use it against you. But when you remain silent, they are left with nothing but confusion. When you are still, the enemy stabs into shadows, and every attempt fails. Heaven's strategy for this hour is not to fight harder. It is to stand wiser. This is your protective posture. Withdraw. Pray. Observe. Stay hidden. Stay guarded. Say nothing. The mistake the enemy hopes you make is to act prematurely, to speak emotionally, to post publicly, to respond quickly. He wants you exposed, so he can distort your intentions. But when you choose silence, you shut every spiritual mouth raised against you. When you choose stillness, you let the captain of the host, the Lord himself, go before you and deal with what your strength never could. Hear me. There is no weakness in waiting. There is no defeat in stepping back. This is not avoidance. This is alignment. This is not fear. This is fireproof obedience. You are not retreating. You are rearming. You are letting heaven go first. I have drawn my sword, but your silence empowers it. Your restraint releases angelic intervention. When you go quiet, we go forward. When you still your voice, we raise ours. There is no battle that can stand against a silent soul anchored in divine instruction. Declare this now in your spirit. No trap will ensnare me. No lie will provoke me. No scheme will prosper. No enemy will pull me out of my stillness. This is your confession. This is your weapon. Because when you hold your peace, heaven releases power. The stillness that frustrates you is the same stillness that is building a wall of fire around you. The silence that feels like pause is actually your protection in disguise. Heaven is not slow. Heaven is strategic. And I, Michael, have seen the end of this matter. Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Those who obey the command to stay still shall witness the fall of every plan formed in secret. So do not respond. Do not react. Do not engage. The Holy Spirit will handle what your emotions want to fix. Withdraw into prayer. Cover yourself in the presence. Guard your space. Heaven is working, but it needs your stillness. The wind is rising. The Spirit is moving. And your silence is the signal that the angels have permission to war on your behalf. Type I am hidden in God in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 4040 is forming a shield around you. Listen to me now, beloved of heaven. You have been hidden. You have been pressed. You have been warned. But now comes the moment of shifting. The time has arrived to rise from the shadows, not in reaction, but in revelation. The silence of the last season was not weakness. It was preparation. The stillness you were commanded to hold was not emptiness. It was heaven sharpening your edge, building your stamina, and increasing your discernment. You have been cocooned, but the cocoon was never a coffin. It was the secret place where your wings were forming. The enemy has been fighting you based on who you were, but heaven is empowering you based on who you are becoming. Hear me clearly. You are not who they think you are anymore. The version of you that was easy to provoke, easy to deceive, easy to manipulate has died. The new you, the one rising now, is armed with clarity, fire, and authority. This is why the battle became so intense recently, because your transformation threatens the systems that counted on your silence. But now, your silence is not just stillness. It is strategy. Your restraint is not just self-control. It is a signal of maturity. Heaven has been building in you what no man can take from you: spiritual authority. This is the moment when you stop seeing yourself as the pursued and start realizing you are the one carrying power. You must shake off the victim narrative. You must refuse to define yourself by your past wounds or your recent pressures. This is not about surviving anymore. This is about ascending. Just as an eagle rises above the storm instead of fighting it, so you are being called to ascend above the noise, the accusations, and the traps. The wings you've been given are not ornamental. They are for elevation. The fire stirring inside you is not random. It is ignition. Your sword is not ceremonial. It is sharpened for war. All of heaven has been preparing you for this precise hour, because what is coming requires you not only to avoid a trap but to step into territory that was always yours. I, Michael, am not only warning you, I am ushering you. I have guarded you in silence, but now I stand to remind you of your authority. Heaven does not only want you safe, it wants you strong. Heaven does not only want you hidden, it wants you enthroned. Your stillness was your shield, but your awakening is your strength. When you move now, you will not move as one confused. You will move as one crowned. The moment you realize who you are in the spirit, the intimidation of your enemies loses its grip. They cannot fight the you that heaven has unveiled. Lift your head. Square your shoulders. Speak the words heaven gives you. Walk the path heaven reveals to you. This is your shift from being hunted to becoming a herald. This is your shift from being reactive to becoming prophetic. This is the hour where you no longer see yourself as one being saved, but as one being sent. The world you are stepping into cannot contain the old you. And as you rise, the very pressure that tried to crush you will become the platform that lifts you. You are not small. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are being activated. And as you obey, heaven's resources, angels, and timing are aligning around you like a fortress. You have been hidden to be revealed at the right time. The time is now. Type I am rising in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 5050 is now awakening inside you. Now listen closely, for the Spirit is speaking not just warning, but revelation. I, Michael, have shown you the war, the trap, and the shift. But now I reveal to you the why. Why the pressure? Why the silence? Why the urgency? Why the sudden emotional tension wrapped around what should have been a beautiful day? It's because heaven has marked this very season for your unlocking. Yes, the test you are in right now is not a punishment. It is a passage. The struggle you feel is not the end. It is the contraction before birth. This tension is not here to stop you. It's here to launch you into something no eye has seen, no ear has heard. This, right here, right now, is the turning point you've been sensing in your spirit but couldn't explain. Heaven is setting up a dramatic reversal so precise, so weighty, so undeniable, that even your enemies will say, "The Lord has favored them." But that reversal is contingent. It is tied to this very moment of obedience, this very moment of restraint, this very moment where you say, "Not my will, but yours, Lord." You are not standing in a normal day. This is not just another sunrise. This is a divine appointment written before the foundation of the world. You've been circling the same territory for too long, spiritually, emotionally, relationally, and now heaven has drawn a line and said, "No more." You are being called higher because you are ready, even if you don't feel like it, And though you've walked through wilderness, betrayal, disappointment, even long seasons of silence, heaven is about to show you why you survived, why the doors closed, why the people left, why the pressure built. It was all leading here, to a prophetic moment where the anointing on your life begins to speak louder than the attacks against it. You are being prepared for visibility, for authority, for favor, for promotion. But heaven must first secure your obedience. You must not mistake this battle for rejection. You are not being held back. You are being hidden to be launched. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. There is something written in heaven with your name on it, a position, a role, a responsibility, an inheritance. It's not just blessing, it's weight. And that is why you've been under fire. The enemy is not trying to steal your comfort. He's trying to sabotage your crowning. Because once you step into this next realm, his influence over you ends. You've come too far to collapse now. You've seen too much to turn back now. You've grown too deep to settle now. The delay was training. The silence was discipline. The resistance was sharpening. And the confusion was meant to push you into God's presence, not away from it. The moment you say yes, the moment you yield, the reversal begins. Heaven moves. Doors open. Keys fall into your hands. The very path that felt blocked suddenly clears, because heaven was never waiting on the people around you. It was waiting on the posture within you. And you are ready now. Your name is known in heaven. That's why the message came. That's why the warfare increased. That's why the Spirit stirred your soul to pause and open this very word. You are at the threshold of divine release. One decision will open what 10 years of striving never could. One moment of surrender will unlock what months of effort could not. Your spirit knows this. That's why it's trembling. Because something is shifting. Right now. Type "I receive this unlocking" in the comments if this word confirms what you felt. Blessing code 6060 is now upon your destiny. You are not just hearing this message, you are being entrusted with a mantle. And every time you support this prophetic assignment, you place oil into the lamps of others who are walking in darkness. Your giving becomes the trumpet that awakens the weary, the whisper that strengthens the broken, the fire that fuels this movement of truth and divine revelation. As it is written, the generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. If this word has refreshed your soul, then join this mission. Become a YouTube member. Send a super thanks, or sow into this prophetic well through the PayPal link in the video description. This is not charity. This is prophecy in motion. Let your seed speak louder than the silence of this world. Let heaven see your response. Activate your part in this movement and receive the prophet's reward. Now comes the moment where everything shifts, not in the heavens, not in your surroundings, but within you. This is the hour of destiny activation, and it begins with your agreement. I, Michael, am still standing, sword drawn, wings extended, watching the battle around you. But heaven is waiting for a word not from me, but from you. You must declare it aloud and in your spirit. I choose obedience. I choose heaven's path. This declaration is not a whisper into the void. It is a trumpet in the realm of the Spirit. Every principality that once laid claim to your peace, every whisper that tried to delay your steps, every shadow that tried to follow you, they all begin to tremble the moment you say yes to God's divine direction. Heaven does not respond to confusion. It responds to clarity. The kingdom does not move at the sound of panic. It moves at the sound of faith. And in this exact hour, your obedience is your activator. You cannot walk into divine destiny with divided loyalty. You cannot carry old fears into a new realm. You cannot afford to entertain two voices, one from God and one from your wounds. The moment you align with what heaven has spoken, not what you feel, not what others say, but what he has declared, the chains break, the doors open, the shift begins. You are not called to wander anymore. You are not meant to stay in indecision. You are not waiting on confirmation. This is the confirmation. This is the call to move forward. Your destiny has been crying out for agreement, and now heaven is giving you the final nudge. Choose. Choose the narrow road. Choose the hard obedience. Choose to let go of what's behind you so you can take hold of what's before you. What you release now determines what you receive next. This is not simply a decision for the day. This is a decision that determines decades. This choice will echo into generations. If you obey, you shift your bloodline. If you obey, you step into a divine sequence that was written before you were formed in your mother's womb. The books in heaven have chapters that haven't yet been turned, not because God is delaying, but because he is waiting for your agreement. When you say yes, those pages begin to turn again. And with every step of obedience, the story unfolds with supernatural momentum. You must understand, heaven waits for your yes, not just to bless you, but to deploy you. This is the hour where the hidden become heralds, where the faithful are sent forth, where the silence become voices. This is not about position. This is about assignment. Your yes activates the assignment you were created for. Not the imitation, not the survival, not the performance, but the true calling that has been pressing against your chest since you were a child. You've always known you were different. You've always felt set apart. And now you know why, because you were born for this moment. Your past does not disqualify you. Your failures do not cancel you. Your doubts do not define you. The only thing heaven is requiring now is your surrender. And if you surrender, fully, honestly, without conditions, you will see acceleration like never before. You will see divine favor unfold like a scroll. You will witness your life step into supernatural rhythm, because what was once resisted by your flesh is now being fueled by your spirit. Declare it now. I choose obedience. I choose heaven's way. I choose to rise. And as you do, angels move. Doors shift. Chains fall. Assignments activate. Type I choose destiny in the comments if you feel this word is for you. Blessing code 7070 is now unlocking what was once delayed. Here is a silence that speaks louder than any voice. A silence not birthed in fear or confusion, but in the sacred stillness of divine exchange. Right now, as you hear these words, there are movements in realms your eyes cannot see. Negotiations, restorations, recoveries. The Spirit of the Lord is brooding over your name. I, Michael, the defender of the chosen, have not departed. I remain stationed, for something holy is happening in secret. You may not see it. You may not feel it. But I speak truth. Heaven is reclaiming what was stolen from you. There is an exchange unfolding in the spirit realm. Silent, invisible, but violent against darkness. While you wept, God was writing. While you questioned, heaven was working. While your faith seemed to flicker like a weak flame, angelic hands were moving through timelines, gathering the fragments of your promise, collecting what was scattered, and setting in motion the restoration of your divine inheritance. You do not need to chase what is already being reclaimed on your behalf. You do not need to strive for what is being returned to your feet in divine silence. In the hours when your soul could not rest, when your body lay still but your spirit tossed in unease, that was not random. That was your spirit sensing the shift before your mind could comprehend it. You were not anxious without reason. You were not unsettled by accident. The very core of your being was in alignment with the movement of heaven. The discomfort you felt with the birthing room of reversal. It was the soundless groan of destiny being restitched. And though your eyes saw nothing, your spirit has known all along. Something is changing. Something is returning. Something is waking up. Let it be known this day, not one tear hath been wasted. Not one growth hath been ignored. Not one betrayal hath been unseen. The Father has recorded it all. And heaven is responding, not with noise but with order. Not with panic, but with precision. While you sleep, angels are completing transactions in the Spirit. While you go about your day, the vaults of heaven are being opened. The words spoken against you are being erased. The delays are being overturned. The mistakes are being redirected for your good. And what the enemy thought he could bury in silence, God is using to plant something eternal. Your name is being spoken in places your feet have not yet entered. Your favor is growing in conversations you don't even know are happening. The very people who counted you out will have to watch God count you back in. Because what is taking place now is not natural, it is supernatural. This is not about timing anymore. This is about transfer. What belonged to you but was stolen by deception, distraction, or delay, is coming back with interest. What was blocked is being unblocked. What was delayed is being accelerated. And heaven is doing it silently, so that when it breaks forth, there will be no doubt it was the hand of God alone. So rest, not in apathy but in faith. Rest in the knowledge that the silence of this moment is not absence. It is warfare. It is strategy. It is a cover for a comeback so divine that not even the enemy will be able to trace how it happened. You are not behind. You are not overlooked. You are being repositioned while you wait. And this repositioning cannot be stopped because it does not depend on man's approval. It flows from the courts of heaven, and heaven has already ruled in your favor. Stay still. Stay surrendered. And know this, your next season is not being created. It's being restored. Type I receive heaven's restoration in the comments if this word speaks to you. Blessing code 8080 is now rewriting your unseen future. Now hear the sound of justice rolling like thunder through the spirit realm. I, Michael, appointed by the Most High to defend the chosen, now declare the decree. Heaven has ruled in your favor. The scales have been weighed. The verdict has been rendered. The time of injustice has expired, and the hand of the Lord is stretched out to bring reversal. What was meant to destroy you will now deliver you. What was sent to silence you will now announce you. And what was formed in darkness against you shall be exposed in broad daylight. The justice of the Lord is not delayed. It is exacted. It is holy. It is now moving on your behalf. You have cried for closure, not knowing that heaven was preparing a complete reversal. This is not just healing. This is vindication. This is not just comfort. This is compensation. The one who betrayed you, the place that rejected you, the system that tried to block you, the weapon that formed against you, all of them will now witness your elevation. The word has gone forth from the throne. Touch not my anointed, and do my prophet no harm. That harm, though invisible to others, was seen clearly by the eyes of God. And now the one who sits on the throne laughs, not because your pain was small, but because your enemy's plan was foolish. You touch with heaven seal. Understand this truth. The justice of God is not always loud, but it is always final. You are stepping into a season where the tables will turn swiftly, silently, and supernaturally. Those who rose against you will not understand how you survived. Those who dug a pit for your fall will watch you walk across it untouched. The very mouth that cursed you will be forced to acknowledge that the hand of the Lord is upon you. This is the hour where heaven does not just restore, it returns with interest. For every year that was stolen in confusion, God is adding grace. For every moment of betrayal, He is releasing favor. For every closed door, He is now opening gates of glory. This reversal is not because of your perfection, but because of your posture. You refused to curse. You refused to retaliate. You held your peace when you wanted to scream. You stayed hidden when pride wanted you to defend yourself. And that silence has now become the seed of your vindication. Heaven remembers. Angels remember. And I, Michael, have recorded every act of restraint as an act of war. Now the Lord is arising, not just as your defender, but as your judge. You will not need to fight to be heard. You will not need to force doors to open. Justice is moving through your life like fire, and the ones who once whispered against you will have to watch God honor you. Do not gloat. Do not repay evil with evil. Keep your posture pure, and let heaven finish what it has begun. The divine scales are balanced. The courtroom of heaven has closed its session, and the verdict has been rendered in your favor. Your name is being cleared. Your honor is being restored, and your enemies are being silenced by divine decree. Everything is turning. Everything is reversing. Everything is coming into alignment, not by your hand, but by the hand of the just judge. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments if you believe this word was sent for you. Blessing code 9090 is now reversing what was done against you. Now, beloved, draw near, for this final word is not merely to instruct, but to seal. I am Michael, Archangel of the Most High, and I have stood beside you through this message, not only as a messenger, but as a witness. I have watched the trembling of your heart, the shifting of your spirit, and the awakening of your discernment. This moment is not random. It is not poetic. It is prophetic. This day, the very one the enemy tried to mark for disaster, has been reclaimed by the hand of the Lord and rewritten for glory. The mistake you were about to make has been stopped by divine interruption. The trap you were about to walk into has been shut by your stillness. The reversal the enemy feared has begun, not tomorrow, but now. Hear me. Heaven has spoken. The storm hath been silenced. And you, yes, you, are now walking in a different posture. You are no longer beneath the attack, but above it. No longer waiting for rescue, but operating in divine authority. The warning has passed. The test hath been faced, and your obedience, your surrender, has activated a protection around you that no force of darkness can penetrate. You are not just protected, you are appointed. You are not just restored, you are redeemed. What looked like delay was actually preparation. What felt like silence was heaven's blueprint being drawn in perfect detail. So now, Let the final seal be spoken. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. You are no longer circling what you've already conquered. You are no longer repeating what heaven has released. You are walking forward, not in fear, not in haste, but in divine rhythm with the Spirit. There is a freshness coming upon your name. There is a wind behind your steps. What tried to hold you back will now push you forward. What tried to break you has only built you. You are not the same. You are rising, armed with wisdom, crowned with clarity, surrounded by fire. Let peace now return to your mind. Let clarity now rise in your decisions. Let joy now flood your atmosphere. You have heard the word. You have responded. And heaven has answered. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the glory of the Lord surround you like a shield. And may every step you take from this moment forward be in divine alignment with your eternal assignment. The day has been redeemed. The mistake has been avoided. The path has been corrected. And the future is now wide open before you. Type "I am sealed" and sent in the comments if you receive this final word. Blessing code 7777 has now sealed your new season. If this word stirred something eternal inside of you, then hear this call. Help us keep this prophetic fire burning. Every time you support this mission, you're not giving to a voice. You're giving to a divine rescue. You're helping awaken the chosen, protect the called, and ignite destinies around the globe. As the word says, he gives seed to the sower, and when you sow into this anointed ground, you unlock harvests not only for you, but for every soul who will encounter truth through your giving. Join this movement. Partner through YouTube membership, release a super thanks, or sow through the PayPal link in the video description below. Let your obedience become someone else's breakthrough. Don't just receive this word, fund its mission. And heaven will not forget your seed.